and welcome to Inside Outlook. I'm Jeff Havers, Superintendent of Pemberton Township Schools. As the year is winding down, we wanted to be sure to take time to acknowledge our outstanding spring sport athletes. Today, I'm pleased to have two of our top athletes join me, along with our athletic director, Mr. Joe McColgan. Welcome.
Good morning.
Morning.
Mr. McColgan, this is the first full season we had since the gradual lifting of the COVID protocols that our athletes have been under for the past 2 years. How has that affected our athletic program?
Well, this spring was the first season we really were without restrictions and some of the protocols that we had to follow. We still had some guidelines that we had to adhere to, but it was our biggest step back to quote-unquote normal. And its biggest impact that I saw was across the board, every spring sport, the participation numbers increased compared to last year. And I think some of the results on the field show evidence of that. We did well, and it was great to see kids out there enjoying athletics again.
Do you think they enjoyed the season more than they did in the last 2 years?
I think so. One of the restrictions we had in place previously was we were limited to a small group of teams that we could play, basically local schools. This year we were able to travel further, play other teams, participate for track, for example, in relay events that the last 2 springs weren't open to us. So it was a big step forward to, again, getting back to normal.
Great. So overall, how did our teams do in the spring?
Overall, we did pretty well. Tennis and baseball they did not qualify for the playoffs, but they improved from what they've done in the past. Both programs are actually pretty young. And softball, for the second consecutive year, qualified for the playoffs. They had a couple heartbreaking losses during the year, but all in all, they were very competitive and successful. Track, actually, today is the start of the postseason for them. They'll be traveling to Delsea High School for the South Jersey Sectionals, and very successful, regular season and relay season for them as well.
Fantastic. We have 2 highly competitive and high-achieving athletes with us today, and I'm happy to welcome sophomore member of the track team, Alana Midor, and senior softball player, Teresa Soleo. Nice to meet both of you.
Nice to meet you.
Teresa, we'll start with you. I understand you pitched 161 strikeouts in your pitching career, which is in the top 10 of all-time Pemberton players, where you also named the first team all-conference and tied for first place on the team with 15 runs batted in this season. What do you think contributed to your overall success?
I think my dad's overall support definitely contributed to my success because he's always there to push me. He's always there to make sure I go to my practices, both for school and travel, and he's always just there to be there for me, and he helps me a lot.
Awesome. You're also more than a pitcher. You play catcher, third base, and shortstop. Do you have a favorite position?
I would say my favorite position is definitely being a pitcher. I've been a pitcher since I was 7 years old.
7 years old?
7 years old.
Yeah. Awesome. And do you like being a pitcher because you're always involved in the game?
Yes, I love being in control of the game and being able to see everything and where everyone is at.
All right. What other activities have you been involved in during your high school career, and how do you think those activities and sports have influenced you during your high school career?
I've been a part of the tennis team, the swim team. I'm a part of the homecoming committee, the prom committee, travel club, National Honor Society, and all of those different things help me connect with new people and make new friends, and it helps better my communication skills, which is very needed as an athlete. So all of that really helps that.
Excellent. So keeping that busy also helps you learn how to balance your time, correct? Mm-hmm. Thank you. Now let's turn over to Alana. Alana, who's only a sophomore and already has quite a list of accomplishments. But before we talk about those, tell us how you first became interested in shot put and the discus.
I used to run track like 4 years before high school, and I really enjoyed it. And it was a rec track team. So I would do a little bit of throwing, but I wasn't as into throwing shot put and discus until Miss Campbell had introduced it to me freshman year.
All right, so that was just last year, right?
Yes.
All right. So you were named the first Team All-Patriots for the Burlington County Scholastic League Divisional winner in shot put, and placed second in the discus and came in second in shot put in the Burlington County Open. Can you tell us how it feels to have achieved all those milestones already just being a sophomore?
It feels really good. I'm very proud of myself because I've come a long way since freshman year. And I've gotten a lot of support from both my coaches and my family.
All right, excellent. So what do you think contributed to your success so far besides your coach? I mean, can you go into a little bit more detail about that? Like what the coaches have done for you, what your family has done for you?
Both my coaches, Ms. Campbell and Coach Ard, have pushed me a lot to go through with stuff that I maybe didn't feel like doing or stuff that seemed hard at first, but turned out very enjoyable for myself. Like, I didn't really like doing the spin on discus, but it ended up really pushing my throws further. And my mom and my dad for constantly having me play sports when I don't feel like doing anything.
Understood. So are they pushing you to go to practice, to
Yes.
practice at home, and the same thing with Teresa, right?
Yeah.
All right, and that's great. Thank you. Teresa, you're graduating in just a few weeks. What are your plans after high school?
After I graduate, I plan to attend Montclair State University, and I plan on majoring in fashion merchandising and design.
Awesome. Thank you both for being here today, and best of luck to the two of you.
Thank you.
Mr. McColgan, is there anything you want to add before we go?
Yeah, I just wanted to point out to anyone who's watching, athletes, parents, just keep an eye out for any announcements from your sports teams for summer workouts. Also, in early to mid-August, we're going to be hosting free sports physicals for all students entering grades 6 through 12 next school year. So also keep an eye out for that. And I just wanted to congratulate these two young ladies. As you heard from their descriptions and their backgrounds, multi-sport athletes. Alana also excelled on the basketball court this winter. Great students involved on the court, on the fields, but also in the classroom and clubs and activities around the school. So really should be proud of themselves. Great examples of great, true student athletes here at Pemberton.
Excellent. Yeah, we're proud of our students, but also grateful for our coaches, grateful for our families, right, to support us. Thank you, all of you, for joining us today. I have a few reminders before I go. Last week, we sent out an email regarding the new start and end times for some of our elementary schools next year. We made these time changes to better accommodate the transportation needs of all students. With the ongoing bus driver shortage continuing to have a major impact on our busing services, this transition will allow us to operate more efficiently with the number of drivers we have, and alleviate some of the long wait times and multiple double runs taking place this year. The new times shown on our screen were included in your email and are also posted on our district website. Our next Board of Education work session will take place Thursday, June 16th at 6:30 p.m. in the Pemberton Township High School auditorium. The next action meeting is Thursday, June 23rd at 6:30 p.m. in the high school auditorium. That's our show for today, and I look forward to seeing you next time for our last program of the school year for Inside Outlook. Thank you.